But, who would be the 5th spot had I made an abysmal score? If it's even possible to do even worse than Amy or the possible 5th person, Eggman. Here is one of the most memorable soundtracks in this game. In Soft Museum, this whole area is all bouncy, so you're like on a trampoline, so that that's kind of fun if you're playing as a human. But I kind of don't want to have to show off the human aspect again. Soaring. This is clearly where the game shines. Very much so. Oh, whoops. We're halfway through Claire's story already. How much time have you done? Over 26 minutes. So yeah, it's a short game, even considering it's an mid-90s game. But hey, there is a good amount of replay value. You do, playing through the stages over and over again, they don't get boring. At least not very easily. Trying to get better and better ranks. It really is enjoyable. I'm just saying I do wish this game could have been longer. But what can you do? What are my thoughts on Knight's Journey of Dreams? I've only ever played it once. I don't remember exactly my thoughts on it were, but I remember some, if not many, Sega fans disliked the game, thinking it was a disgrace to the Saturn version. It said it didn't remember Journey of Dreams very well, but I don't remember being like horrendous or anything. I gotta pick up the game one of these days. Maybe I'll really like it, maybe I'll hate it. Although, admittedly, I do find Knight's voice weird. Knight's supposed to be genderless, but in that game, it is clearly voiced by a lady. Like, if you're gonna give a genderless person a voice, oh jeez. Still, I'm the better, probably less. I say try to make it sound like it's difficult to tell whether it's a male or a female, and not just blatantly sound like a woman. Many Sega fans didn't like Knight's voice that much, and I'm still kind of getting used to that voice as I'm playing through Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. Although Knights is one of my favorite characters to use in that game. Oh boy, I was hoping to try to get through Claire's story without having much trouble, but my throat is kind of starting to hurt me now. It is kind of a pain. And one thing that prevented me from finishing this game, starting this game sooner, is that I really wasn't sure if I was gonna just go with like Claire's story then do Elliot's, or if I was gonna alternate between them. I really wasn't sure, but one thing that I considered, I thought of, that, it probably should have been really obvious, but had I been alternating between the two, the last two parts would have been pretty much the same, because well, another nitpick is that the last levels, they are pretty much exactly the same, only you're either playing as the boy or as the girl. That is like the only difference. So, since I'm gonna play through the two levels, I thought it'd be best if to not have them like side by side, do Claire's version then Elliot's version. And here's one of these occasional 3D sections. I really do like how Nights has variety. You're often in like a 2.5 plane, but occasionally you'll kind of be in a 3D-ish world, occasionally being like an isometric view. I really like that. Makes this game feel fresh. It is short but sweet. Once again, one of the best on the Sega Saturn. And the Saturn is easily one of the most underrated consoles. Sold so poorly in America and Europe. Although it did do decently in Japan. Although every other console there in Japan didn't do too well. Especially not compared to big end systems at the time. Genesis sold like 4 million compared to the Super Famicom, which was 17 whopping million. And another A rank. Did I mention that if you get all A ranks, you'll get a trophy / achievement out of it? Well, I have now. Oh, this mirror room. This is pretty awesome. It's just so appealing to look at. This is one very, very, very charming game. One of the most creative games ever made. This is one of the most creative games back then. This is one of the most creative games back then now. I mean, I really am gushing over this, but it's hard to find a Sega fan that doesn't love this game. And I consider myself a Sega fanatic. Out of Nintendo, Sega, Sony, Microsoft, I do like Sega the best. If you've known me, like in my early teen years where I was a fanboy, most people know me for just liking Nintendo and, you know, maybe owning Sega, but still thinking Nintendo is king. And I was a fanboy. I was kind of a Sony and Microsoft hater at the time. But the truth is, I didn't find Nintendo to be the best. I've always liked Sega a little more, but still people view me as a Nintendo fanboy, not a Nintendo Sega fanboy. So I'm gonna get that pointless discussion aside. This bouncy level has been completed. This one is pretty tricky. Hopefully your throw meter isn't empty or getting there, because you're gonna have a really difficult time with this boss. And this boss is limbless like Rayman, I just noticed. Well, not just noticed, I've noticed it before, obviously, but just pointing that out there. What's it do? It's an attack. Try dodging that, leaves it open so you'll be able to drill up to it. Kind of go in this pattern, and surely you'll make it to it. There you go. .5. How did I do on this first night? Dun dun dun. If there is an official release of the soundtrack, I would definitely like to pick it up.